Hey, how's it going? I apologize for that delay. Man, in the volume. How's it going? Yeah, sorry, I had to set up a couple things. I thought I had everything set up because of something that I just got working, and then I realized, oh, I didn't create any of the firewall rules for something. So, so I apologize for making you wait a little bit longer than normal. How's everybody doing tonight? Craven, how's it going? Well, I'm on time, Penguin Airlines. How's it going? Good to see you. Creepinson, hey, how's it going? Shuckles Samurai, evening all, good evening to you too. P Diddy 973, I thought that was my Windows making that noise. Yeah, doesn't it always seem like that? When I hear that noise anywhere, I'm just like, oh, what's going on? No, it's me trying to find a firewall rule and I couldn't find it, but I was on the wrong screen. I kept doing Control F. Yeah, I do the same thing whenever I hear that noise or I hear like phone dinging or Discord too. Even though I have Discord muted 100% of the time, whenever I hear that noise, I'm just like, huh? Yeah, so how's it going? Man, been working on something. I think I finally got my channel point stuff working. I spent probably way too much time on it, but I don't know if you remember from last time, but last time I had a big button on my channel points that just says, what does this do? And it was like, whatever you do not hit this button because it will just burn 10,000 points. Well, now it actually does stuff. So I worked on it a ton yesterday, which meant it ate into my video editing time. So I have a ton of editing to do tonight. But anyways, so now I have channel points that will actually change the lights in the room. We kind of talked about this before. I think some people mentioned, someone brought it up about channel points and whatnot. Oh, Northern Lights. Oh my gosh, is it gonna work? Oh, it says it. The color has been changed. Oh, it doesn't think I'm live for some reason. What? Hold on. All of my code works. So I'm looking at the logs right now, and for some reason, it does not think I'm live, which kind of stinks because I am live. And so I thought I was being smart. I'll trigger it for here in a second. I'll even run it locally. It's running a Rancher right now, so let me actually stop it, and I'll start it locally, and I'll just change that code real quick. But yeah, so last night I was thinking like, well, I don't want my lights changing. Like if someone were to burn points or do something like when I wasn't live, so I thought I'd be real cute and like check to see if I'm live before someone did it, and then like actually, if I'm not live, just don't do anything. I doubt anyone would be hanging out on my channel if I weren't live. Here we go. I will trigger it for you though. Let me stop my workload in Rancher really quick, and then we will. Then I'll trigger it here. I just took the code out. Let me scale this down. Okay, now the bot's running locally on my machine. All right. Oh yeah, and you can see my bot. Every time my bot spins up, that's what he says. And actually, I got one more thing. So we're not going to check if I'm live. Sorry, I gotta change this code real quick. Not gonna check if live. And then, so we don't need that condition. I don't know why Twitch doesn't think I'm live. I am live. Sometimes they're totally delayed. All right. So I'll use it. They give me free points. So this will be, Craven, this is for you. Yeah, fixing a buck live. Isn't that story of my life? So this is what should have happened when you hit it. Northern Lights, I hope it works because also, my firewall rule, I just totally plugged in. Oh yeah. And there it goes. Sweet. Let me, I got two more things. Whoa, what was that? I have two more things that, do you hear that? That's so weird. I thought it was my, what's it called? Microphone. There are some quirks, so I do need some more bulbs. My dog is going crazy too. All kinds of weird noises I'm hearing outside. Hold on one second. Okay. He's not giving up. So anyways, this is the Aurora Green. So it would look a little bit better if the lights weren't so bright in here, but I'm gonna get a few more Philips Hue lights so it looks a little bit better. But yeah, so that's what happens now. So I have three themes. If you spend points, it's kind of a ridiculous amount, but I think it's easy to get those, I think, just from hanging out in the channel. And then you can change to whatever you want. So anyways, Man, I'm glad I got that firewall. I know it's a lot of points. I had to set it to something kind of high. Well, you can blame Techno, because last time I was in here, I was gonna set it to 1,000, and he was like, 1,000 seems like nothing, because he's like, 1,000 seems like nothing because I have like, I don't know, he said like something crazy, like 100,000 or something. So yeah. So anyways, I'm gonna adjust it. But you can see the Aurora Green, it worked. There's some lights up here too. But anyways, but yeah, so now you can change the lights to whatever you want. I'm still playing with it. Like I said, I just got the code, not even all the way working last night. And as you can see today, it didn't work, but I have Visual Studio Code running, so the bot's running on my local machine until I fix that part. But yeah, so yeah, there you have it. I think I'll adjust it. The only thing they don't have though with channel points though is like a global cooldown timer. And so I want to be able to put like at least a minute or 2 minute timer on there, so that people can't trigger over and over and over. Not that, you know. So that's probably what I'm going to move to is global cooldown timer of, I don't know, 1 minute, 5 minutes, something like that. And then I can lower the points. But right now, because there's no timer, I had to keep the points high. Otherwise, like my lights would be going crazy in here, like, like a, you know, just strobe light, disco party in here. But anyways, I think Twitch is adding it soon. And the funny thing is they were like, they have an idea board and people upvoted it and, you know, they haven't approved it yet. But when I was looking at their API, they already have that in the API. It basically says like global cooldown is on global cooldown. And so I know that they're building it. So that's funny that they have it in their API. But anyways, Takano's here. You can blame him for 10,000 points because that's how much it costs to change the lights for now. Because I just got it working. So let's get back into here. Gilnesis. Sorry, that one's hard to me. For me to pronounce. I'm going to say Gillen News. I don't know. Any plans to change the stream for hours Europe friendly? Hey, yeah, someone just hit it. I didn't see it. There we go. Back to pink. Thank you. Pink and blue. Thank you. So it's 2 a.m. there. So Gillenus. My Saturday stream is EU friendly, so it's 4 hours earlier than now. So my Saturday stream is, I might do some adjustments, but I got a day job, so this has got to happen at night. So on the weekends though, Saturday is 3 CST. So yeah. Creeps and off to bed. Good night. Shuckle Samurai, I feel your pain trying to configure Proxmox for the first time while wrangling a puppy. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of have that too. I have a little wild dog. He's not a puppy, but he's kind of a puppy. But he's got him from the main side, and he is on high alert all the time. He's never had a dog like him. He's crazy, but he's awesome. But yeah. Kuroikage-san, how are you? How do you check channel points? I don't know. There's that button, the three ellipsis button in the circle down there. I think so. Dr. Bell, FYI, your name come up in a YouTube live stream today when the topic of containerization was mentioned. Congrats, by the way, 10K subscribers. Thank you. Sounds like people are really liking your DevOps content. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, someone mentioned that to me before. Just be nice. You know, I mean, I don't mind if we talk about other content creators in my channel. I don't mind it at all because like we're all in the same, you know, kind of in the same bubble. So to me, I don't mind at all. But you know, it wasn't you. Just in general, just be respectful. Some people don't like that. Some people do. For me, I don't mind. I talk about them too. I talk about Kraft. I talk about Harris. I talk about A Post Vox. Talk about Tom Lawrence. So all good things. You know, of course, all good things. So I don't mind. But yeah, thank you so much. I do have some more DevOps stuff coming. Because I do. Because it's fun to have a full stack DevOps at home and be able to write your own code and get it running in your own infrastructure within a couple of minutes. It's super fun. And, you know, make changes, push changes near real time, you know, to your servers that are serving out content all over the world. So yeah, super, super awesome. Penguin Airlines, thanks for letting Kuroi Kage-san know where the channel points are. It's hard for me to see. Oh, I have infinity. So I'm like, why do I have these ellipses here? No, I have infinity. And I'm glad they gave me infinity because I had to burn probably 200,000 while testing this last night. I was like, oh, they thought ahead of this by giving me, channel owners infinity points. It was awesome. Kuroi Kage, maybe you can only see a desktop. I don't see anything on mobile. You should be able to. I think so. Maybe it's in the redeem section. I'm not sure. Craven, you could make the bot refund the points if they trigger within the timer, split out the message. Yeah, I don't think I can refund channel points. I think Twitch has like ultimate control over that. Like I can control the rewards, how much the rewards cost, but I can't control the rate at which you earn them or anything like that, or even refund them. I know Streamlabs and Stream Elements, they had their own point system. They might still, but yeah. Takano, only 13K now. Yeah, I thought you said you wanted me to set it to 10K, but that's what I did when I was testing, and I was like, okay. But like I said, after I kind of smooth it out, I'll get it going right, because Twitch should be adding global cooldowns, but I might make it like, I don't know, 1K, 2K, something like that. I should change it right now. I mean, who cares? You know what I mean? If my lights change, I don't really. I mean, I care that you use the points on them, but I don't mind what color they are. Yeah. Kuroi Kage, nice, you found it on mobile. Good confirmation. Creepitson, I said oof, not off. Oh, you said off. Wait, oof? Wait, oh, oof, go to bed though. Okay, sorry, you're not going to bed. You were telling someone else to go to bed. Yeah, I was like, I mean, maybe you go to bed early, I don't know, or maybe you're on East Coast and it's 8 there, but I thought you were in the US. Galenius, I'm just gonna make this up every time I see your name. I'm gonna say Galenius because that looks, Galenius, yeah, that looks like what it is. I apologize, I'm terrible at pronouncing names sometimes. Thanks, good night guys, see you later. Roger Dodger, 34, what's poppin'? Brand new whip just hopped in. Okay, all right. Brand new whip, what's the whip? Takano, I got options. Penguin Airlines, Tim is so chill. Yeah, sometimes maybe I'm a little bit too chill. I don't know, just depends. Yeah, but man, so Takano debating what domain I should buy. Got to look at restrictions at domains at school. Yeah, you were the one that was saying that like your school blocked everything except for like .com and .whatever. Like they didn't even allow you get to what? It was something. Was it .io? I don't remember what it was, but I couldn't believe that they were just blocking domains like at that level, and just saying no one in this whole entire university can get to this domain. I forget what domain it was, but yeah. XYZ, that's right, because they were saying it was something about security, or they were claiming it was a security, it was to protect you. Which, yeah, it's like, I can buy a .com and have a, yeah, unsecure. It's like I can buy a .com and make an unsecure site. You know what I mean? That's crazy that they do it at that level. It seems so like draconian, just like, oh, these new domains, can't trust those, just block them. Sounds odd, but yeah, you think whatever, I don't know, you think they have some kind of content blocker anyways, that they would be able to scan sites, or they probably pay for it, whoever they get their security software through. And it's just odd that they would just like, add it to a block list and say wildcard XYZ domain rather than like proactively scan the content or, update their rules from whoever they're paying tons of money to manage their firewall. Yeah. Spencer, SSG versus CMS for creating website for a client. If my target client is people who want to just display their business does or service has to offer. Okay, so question is, should you use a static site generator or a full-blown CMS for creating a website for a client? It depends. It depends on a couple of things. One, Is it just like a brand site or something to just, like you said, to display services where content rarely ever changes and they don't want to ever create new content on their own? I mean, this is kind of double-sided though, right? Since you're going to be doing it for them. One, you could do a static site generator and generate it for them, and it's just static content. It'll load super fast, super little, tiny bundle, depending on how many images and stuff you put in there. There's no back end to worry about. And it's super easy to change. You just update your markdown or whatever you're doing, generate a new site and push it out, and it's good to go. I mean, that can go either way for you, right? Because like, if you're charging them, you can make changes really easy and they can update their site. But yeah, I'm trying to think about it from their perspective. Like, if I was going to have someone build me a website, I would say, well, I would build it myself. But if I didn't know how, I would just say, yeah, I want something with my business hours, and then like, whatever, a week later, I'm like, oh yeah, well, I want to list these new services, or I want to change these services, or a phone number change, or email change, or address change, all those things. I mean, to them, it's like, okay, if you built a CMS for them, they could change that stuff themselves. You may or may not want that. If it's a static site generator, they're going to have to contact you every time to make those changes. And maybe you want that because that's more business or whatever. So it's kind of up to you. I've gone both ways on this, and I have both. I have actually a third too. Hold on, I got to pull up my follows really quick. So thank you so much. DigiLink, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. So I've gone a couple ways on this. So I write custom websites in JavaScript with React. I have statically generated sites too using Hugo, and I have a WordPress blog, a full-blown CMS. So I've done all three. I feel like, it just depends for me personally. Like my blog, obviously I'm creating content, uploading content, writing content. I want all the stuff that comes along with, a CMS. But for a static site generator, like my homepage, that's just me with all my social links, totally. I used Hugo. I'm like, found a great theme, made a couple changes in Hugo, wrote it all in Markdown, zero code. Well, kind of code because I bootstrapped the whole repo and, got CI/CD going, things I like to do. But yeah, kind of up to you. Tell me more. Sorry, I went off on a tangent on that, but I played all three of those games myself, and I still do, and I host all three in my own infrastructure. Just depends, The thing is, yeah, it depends. The nice part about going on a full CMS is you're gonna be able to buy or create a lot of templates for like WordPress. If they find a template they want exactly, you just buy it for them, roll it into the cost. But yeah. So let me know, Spencer. Like, what are you leaning towards? Penguin Airlines can never be too chill. Yeah, man. Yeah. Ticano, probably just going to see if I can get a .com or .org for cheap. Might go on campus to see what I can get. Yeah, .coms. I think we saw them the other day. We were talking about in Discord on Google. Hey, Craven. Thank you so much, man. 100 bits, man. Dude, thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Hopefully Purple Mega Man comes on back there. I've been doing way too much work on that. Between the lights in my room and my little Raspberry Pi panel back there, I've been going crazy on code. Need to reel it in. But thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Yeah, I think didn't we see like on Google domains, they were like $12 or something like that. So, I mean, $12 for a year, that's $1 a month. Yeah. I mean, you'll probably get them cheaper elsewhere too. You know what I mean? Cheapdomains.com or something. I have no idea. I haven't bought from Cheap Domains in a long time, but I did before. And it was cheap until a year or two. And then they jack up the cost. Yeah, there's my Mega Man back there. Dr. Bell, any plans to upgrade your streaming gaming rig with the RTX GPU? Possibly. So I've been, watching a lot of the awesome, demo videos of the 30 series, and they look awesome. And so I bought a 1080 right before the 20 series came out. I was late, but it was fine because I bought a 1080, and that's just as good as, a low-end 2070, 2080. Except for a couple of things. It doesn't have RTX. I don't have the touring architecture. I have an older architecture. But it does everything I need to do. I can, encode video. I can play in 1080p, 60 frames per second. And Hey, thanks for the sub. Resub 3 months. Craven, thank you so much. Appreciate it, man. 3 months already. Wow. Time flies. Thank you, man. So yeah, I don't have the newer architecture, but I can play 1080p, I can play 1440p, 60 frames per second, and encode and stream it on the same machine. So long story short, I'm gonna keep an eye on 3080s or 30 series. I want to know, how much they cost. I didn't see any pricing information. I don't know if they released that, but I want to see how much they cost. And then I also want to see what I get out of it. Because I actually did buy a 2080. I had it for 1 day and I took it back. Because on my use for content creation and Twitch streaming, there were zero benefits for me. And I was like, I really wanted one. But I couldn't justify spending $700 for like zero benefit for me, for my application. And mine at the time was gaming in 1080p, 60 frames per second, and streaming it at the same time. And there was like zero benefit. Because my 1080 could already do it fine. So yeah, good question. Are you thinking about a 30 series, the new 30 series that were just announced, Dr. Bell? Takano, Go Guardian, Google G Suite is what they use. All right. RTX 3070 is the way to go. Roger Dodger. Yeah. I was reading that too. Have they released any pricing yet for it? Or they just been doing a bunch of tech demos? I haven't seen it yet, but I'm super interested. Only because just now, so I upgraded my monitor and I have 3 1440p displays. And so I actually downscale everything I see from 1440p to 1080p, 60 frames, and encode it for Twitch. So now I'm using my video card a little bit more than I originally could or did before. So yeah. Takano, they also don't allow you to reach local IPs, so I just set up DNS entry to switch their block page over to my Docker IP server. Lets me access the majority of the services that way. Awesome. Nice. That's yeah, man, you are engineering your way out of their blocking. Love it. Spencer, then I should have some sort of price structure just in case, or make sure my target isn't those kind of needy clients. Yeah. Well, it just depends on how you want to structure that deal. You could say, after you hand it off to them, you can have 1 or 2 revisions or no revisions, or, after you hand it off, then it's, they get a whatever, a simple website change. You have a minimum of whatever, 4 hours. 4 hours cost this much, and no matter what they need, it's a minimum of 4 hours. Or however you want to structure it. Yeah, CMS would be nice though, but that's a lot more to manage because then you got, all the things. If it's WordPress, you have PHP, you have MySQL or MariaDB database, and it's got to be hosted somewhere. With static sites generators, it's super nice because you're like, HTML, JavaScript, CSS, here you go. Put it on any web server, So a little more infrastructure involved, but at that point you could get it hosted somewhere super cheap. Either way, you could get it hosted somewhere super cheap, but it's a little more, little more management if you're running, a full-on CMS like WordPress, because you got to worry about database management, login, security, all that stuff. Static site, super easy. There's no backend, there's no login, so you don't have to worry about any of that security. No spam, no comments, no nothing. Fam Du Chongan, can't find Hugo with Docker. No, I don't think you can, and I'll have something soon. But really what you do is, what I do is pull down Hugo, you write your website in Markdown, so just like you're writing a GitHub page, README, and you write it and you run Hugo again, and it generates the static files for you. And so it outputs, like I said earlier, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. And then what you do is you build your own custom container in your own CI or someone else's CI, and you use the Nginx container, and you throw it all in there, and then you just expose port 80, and boom, you have a website. And then that's in that Docker container, and you can ship that Docker container anywhere you want. Homelab, the basement, Google Cloud, AWS, anywhere. And that's why I love Docker containers too. But might have something coming for you soon. But you won't find just, I don't think, just a plain old Hugo Docker container. Because Hugo is a little tool you run on your machine to generate those files for you. Apparently your first year gives you some channel points. Sorry, I'm a little bit behind. All right, you got some extra points? All right. Spencer, yeah, I was going to use Hugo as a main source, but if the client wants to do it themselves, or if they want a blog type, then yeah, I was going to use WordPress. Yeah, good call. And Dog, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Thank you so much. Yeah, I know Jekyll's another pretty popular one as far as static site generators. And then on the other side, the CMS Ghost is another one that's pretty popular. I know a lot of people jumped on the Ghost bandwagon, but you'll have to feel them out yourself. I think Ghost is a little more open, and I think runs on React. I can't remember. It was super hyped up, and I almost did it, and I almost converted all my stuff from WordPress to Ghost. And then I was like, what do I get out of this at the end of the day? Just a whole lot of maintenance for me. And so I was like, my blog's tiny anyway. So Namecheap, yeah, good call. That Namecheap, that's who I used to get my websites from. Then I transferred them all to Google domains when they got expensive. And now Google gets expensive. I think that's everyone's plan. Year two is where they get you on domains. They're like, transfer over here for half the cost of what you're paying now. And then year two is when, and they'll remind you whatever, a couple weeks before it's expiring, and tell you what the cost is, and you're like, oh man. Penguin Airlines, I'm thinking pork bun for my next registrar. I've never heard of pork bun. Is that a thing? I think you're trolling me. To Earhart, hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. Lots of features included, cheap price. Okay, maybe you're not trolling me. That's awesome. Say that again about encoding and streaming. Sorry, I'm a little bit behind. So I game and stream on the same machine. So I have one PC and I game. Right now I'm not gaming, I'm talking. But I do game and stream on the same PC. And my 1080 so far has been able to do that fine at 1080p, 60 frames per second, and then the highest bit rate. And then, most games, not like, I don't know, if I was going to play whatever, PUBG max settings, it probably wouldn't be the greatest. Who knows? I haven't tried it because I don't play PUBG. But, this card has worked fine for me. But I did switch now to higher resolution monitors, and they're 1440p. And so now when I stream and game, not gaming now, but the screen that you're seeing and the mouse and everything, the mini screen, is really on a 1440p display or resolution. And then OBS is actually downsizing and rescaling it, which takes extra horsepower, and then it's piping it up to Twitch. So now I'm at the point, because I have a higher res monitor, that, I can tell if I play a game and stream a game that my video card's struggling to keep up. But this one has the older architecture, Pascal. And so the new Turing architecture has the better encoder on the stream. It's called NVENC, NVENC. And so it has the NVENC encoder on the Turing that's like 25% more efficient and faster. And so that's another benefit of jumping to the next. I'm going to leapfrog over 20 series. And I knew that when it came out. It was like no benefit for me. But yeah. But 20 series are awesome. Like, if I was running a 1050 or even 900 series, I would have got a 20 series. But I kind of do every other one, so I just get a big leap. But yeah, 1080 served me well though. I still love my 1080. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it afterwards. I'm gonna keep it though. But yeah. So hopefully that helps. A Hitman 1987. 2x channel points for tier 3. Whoa, jeez. That is awesome. 2070 here, and it's been pretty good for me. Yeah, awesome. Nice. Dr. Bell, oh, here's some prices. 3070, $500. Ooh, okay. 3080, $700. Okay. 3090. Whoa, $1,500. Jeez. Oh, that's weird. They went to 90 too. So they're not doing the 60, 70, 80. They're doing the 70, 80, 90 because they want you to pay more. That's why. they're like $1,500. Like we never released anything with a 90 at the end. We gotta justify the 90 at the end, you know, because people will do 1-to-1 right now. They'll say 2080. Okay, that was the 3070, you know, price, or 2060, 2070, 2080. But no, that doesn't work out so well. But I might go 3080. We'll see. It depends. Like, hate to spend that much, but I already spent that much on a 2080, but then took it back because I was like, it's not for me. The leap wasn't good enough for it. Spencer, +1 for Hugo. Super easy to learn. Yeah, I agree too. Hugo's awesome. Hugo is super awesome. A lot of good themes too. And I, you know, spun up, I have 3 or 4 or 5 websites static sites that I host in Rancher that are all built on Hugo. You just write Markdown. It's awesome. It's just like, you know, just like Markdown. Ant Dog, how's it going? Insta follow, love the subject, and your stream, haha, networking equal God. Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah. Oh man, you run a Proxmox on a Dell PowerEdge 2970. Nice. Yeah, I have an old school R710, and it's serving me well so far. I've almost had it a year now. I think November will be a year. November is usually the month I go crazy and buy like a lot of tech. And it has nothing to do with Black Friday or anything like that. It's like the end of the year, I need to spend a certain amount of money on things. And that's when I usually do massive upgrades. So who knows what will happen this November. We'll see. Ant Dog, I'm going to RTX to 20 series. Nice. Yeah, 20 series, super nice. P. Diddy, I would wait to see what big Navi brings to the table before going with NVIDIA. Yeah, I keep seeing those people asking or doing polls on Twitter like, hey, are you going to go with NVIDIA or wait for what AMD has to say, or who cares, you know? And so with me, I totally wait and see for me. I just haven't had a lot of faith in AMD in video cards, right? But look what they did with their CPU division. I mean, they're killing it. Hopefully they have something awesome, because NVIDIA's demos were pretty awesome. That the whole marbles at night with ray tracing, I was like, whoa, this is incredible. P. Diddy, I would wait. Yeah, I said that, sorry. Ant Dog, I have a 1070, gonna go to a 2080 Pro. That's a big leap. That's a big leap right there. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I wonder if 2080 Pro is any better than 30, what are we doing now? 3070, is that the lowest of the 30 series? Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Yeah, I want to see a showdown for sure. Penguin Airlines, when I have trolled you before, while I'm still new here, they have comms for $9 a year, even on the second year. That includes domain privacy and DNS. Nice. Yeah, I know you haven't trolled me. Some people have before. I think it was Takano. I can't remember. But yeah, $9 a year. That's pretty awesome. So that was pork bun. Is that what you call it, pork bun? Yeah, have to check it out. Hey, homeboy. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. Yeah, so man, I'll have to check out pork bun. And if you're still trolling me, you're doing a good job, because I'm gonna keep talking about pork bun and people are probably laughing. But you heard it from Penguin Airlines. It's a real site. They're a registrar. Hitman, yeah, thanks. 90 is basically the Titan. Awesome. 3090 is practically the new Titan. Yeah. Don't think they'll have a Titan brand this year. It literally has the Titan power and leap over the 3070 and 3080, like the 2080 Ti had over the 2070 and 2080. Then yeah, I totally get it. I just well, yeah. So like, why didn't they call it the Titan and give it a Ti on the end? You know, I think it's probably marketing. Either that or they made the mistake of not calling the Titan the 2090 when they probably should have, because people think like, oh, 2080 and you just add a Ti on there. Why am I gonna double the cost of the whole entire thing? You know what I mean? It's probably marketing screwed up last series, and so they're gonna fix it this time by giving it a proper name. 3070 is similar to the 2080 Ti according to NVIDIA. Whoa, that's awesome. That's awesome. And on top of that, it'll have, you know, some of the benefits from ray tracing and stuff that the old one doesn't have. Because they were saying like this new series is like, whatever, name your number, 20-30% faster at ray tracing, and all of the Tensor Core AI that's built in is so much more efficient than the previous series. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And I'm really looking forward to NVENC encoder, because I mean, that's what, I mean, I use an NVENC encoder. I'm using it now. This whole entire stream is encoded with NVENC. And then when I render my videos for YouTube, I use NVENC because it's just so blazing fast. And then, you know, Adobe After Effects, everything uses NVENC for me, except for my final render. But anyways, so I need to look at more stats on that for sure. Because like if I can, yeah, edit videos a little more efficient and not have to wait, that would be awesome. He isn't lying, I can vouch. All right. Website doesn't work on Netscape Explorer though. Oh yeah, that's right. Netscape Explorer, or Surf, that new browser everyone's using. Penguin Airlines, porkbun.com. They're really popular and growing quickly. Lots of positive reviews on YouTube since I've been searching somewhere to move off GoDaddy. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Like I said, I think my first one ever was through GoDaddy, because it was just like, they were cool at the time. And I mean, this was probably 10 years ago. And then like after that, I think I went to Namecheap. And then I stuck on Namecheap for a while. And then like Google got me somehow, Google domains. I was just like, okay, I'm putting all my domains in Google domains, whatever. And you know, they're still moderately priced. The nice part about, I mean, I use whatever you want, but the nice part about using Google domains is they do their Google domain verification just by you owning it and having your Google account, instead of having to put like custom code on your website so that your site can be crawled or search indexed or whatever Google service you end up adding to your website. You know, whatever, it's probably 10 or 15 minutes of config, but it's nice to get auto verified by Google because Google sold you the URL. So yeah, it's kind of nice. Penguin Airlines, yeah, I was considering Namecheap and Dynadot before I found this one. Yeah, some new names. I'll have to check these out. Just been like I said, like ever since I went to Google, it's all right there. It's in my Google account. I think I think to renew it, .com is like $12, and I was like, you know, I probably could save $4 or $5. But I should check them out. I should. Just instead of auto-renewing with Google. I think I just auto-renewed like 5 sites in the last couple of months. I was just kind of like, whatever, don't even want to think about it. Probably could have saved $10, $15 by changing all my sites over. But I was talking about in Discord though, like even if you use a different registrar, you can still use Cloudflare, which is totally awesome. And that's how I do it. So I have, you know, I use Google for my registrar, but then I use Cloudflare's name servers. And then so I use a Cloudflare Docker container that's running in Rancher, and then that does my dynamic DNS and updates all of my records, even though Google sold me the site in Cloudflare. And then you get all the nice parts of Cloudflare too, without actually having Cloudflare be a registrar. So it's super awesome. Spencer, I was looking at Netlify for hosting, but I saw DigitalOcean seems decently priced too. Yeah, DigitalOcean, they're so awesome. I mean, I think I use like I don't know, I think a long time ago, they used to give away like a micro instance of a Linux server, and it was super cheap, like $5 if that. And I used them for a while because it was awesome, and it was one of the few places I could go that was affordable when I didn't have much money at all. But the thing I appreciate about DigitalOcean is, they write a lot of awesome documentation. I mean, I get in the last, I don't know, 6 months here, they don't appear that much in my Google searches, but man, it seemed like a year ago or something like that, like every Google search I did about some kind of like, how do you do something, you know, host WordPress, or how do you do something in Linux, or how do you do this, or how do you do that? It was always like DigitalOcean, like blog posts that explained how to do it. And I was like, that is so awesome. Like it was awesome. It's like, I'm sure they did it on purpose, but they must have consciously said, we're going to write a whole bunch of documentation so that we can win SEO, you know, and then if we win SEO, that's kind of free advertising, you know, people land on, they found the answer on DigitalOcean. They're like, oh, by the way, what do they do? You know, and they, you know, they just, you know, grew organically in search. And, you know, it's basically free advertisement. It's so awesome. A lot of sites do it now too, but I always appreciated that about, you know, DigitalOcean. Whether that was their intent or not, I always appreciate it because I'm like, man, I know if I land on their page of how to do something, it's going to be right. And I can copy and paste all the commands and I don't have to worry about it being old or not working because, yeah, they do some awesome stuff. Techno was also considering Namecheap, but I might end up using Pork Bun now. Yeah, I'll have to check out Pork Bun. Now I'm writing down Pork Bun. So you guys are trolling me. You have successfully trolled me because it's in my notepad now. You guys are in this together. I know it. Hey, Maverick12. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. All right. I'm going to look at this notebook later. I'm going to be like, huh, Kate Certs, EFK, and Pork Bun. It's all the stuff I write down for my stream. I should put them somewhere digitally too, because then I can get to them a little bit easier, and it kind of keeps me honest. If I scribble them down in this notepad, sometimes they just stay there. But if they're like in Google Keep or in my Google Tasks, I end up taking action on them because I want them out of there. But here they're kind of out of sight, out of mind. But digitally, they're always kind of in my mind because they're in my face whenever I use Google products. But you have to check it out. I don't know, is Namecheap cheap anymore? I don't know. When I switched from them to Google, it was like they got me on year 2 and it was a little more expensive. And I think Google was a little bit more expensive too, but I just hopped around because I was like, just Google made it super easy to do, as with all do, first changing registrars. But yeah, is Namecheap still cheap? Yeah, and then Pork Bun, are they still like, I don't know. I mean, are we talking like $7-8 for .com? Are we talking like 15, 12? Yeah, I have no idea. No idea. But Namecheap used to be super cheap for me. Yeah, so man, let me see here. Penguin Airlines, I think you're right. You have to pay for the domain privacy separately with Google, right? No, with Google, the domain privacy comes free. That's why I switched from Namecheap too. Thank you for saying that, because wasn't there, they had this whole like ghost fee, and they have a product that keeps your registration private, and you had to pay extra for that. It was like free on year 1, not on year 2. And then so not only did like the domain price go up, but then they also start charging you for the ghost. I think it was something like, I don't know, whatever, the ghost feature, basically keeping it anonymous and registering it with them. But no, Google does all that for free. So it's super easy. Vortium, moving domains is such a pain. Oh, that's interesting. It was pretty easy for me to move to Google, and I think it's pretty easy to move to Cloudflare. I think we talked about this in Discord the other day, now lets you transfer domains to them. You can't register new ones with them, but you can transfer them. And for me, it was pretty pain-free. You had to, well, not as painful as it way back, but you know, I go in my current registrar, I flip some switch and say, yes, I can transfer it out. Go on the new one, try to transfer it in, then they verify it. And then it was pretty, I thought pretty seamless. But I haven't done it lately. That was when I switched from, you know, over to Google from Namecheap. Takano, like with me, GoDaddy was charging $3 for 2 years. Then after that, they charged $20. Yeah. I didn't renew. Within 2 days, they would throw the price up to $80 just to renew. Oh, yeah, that's dirty. That is dirty. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, and they're probably, you know, acting like someone's going to buy it from you too. Scare tactics too. So I just said screw it and let the domain expire. Didn't really matter. And then got an XYZ domain. Nice. DigitalOcean is a nice VPS, but you should check out Linode. Yeah, since they have VPS, Kubernetes, and block storage. Yeah, Linode I hear a lot about too. Yeah, I hear a lot of good things about them. Maverick, I use Hover. I don't know Hover. I'll have to check that out too. Namecheap is still pretty cheap, but now pork bun is even cheaper. Buy like $1. Wait, buy like $1 cheaper for a .com. Not too bad. Most places are cheap for the first year. Yeah, D4 and Danish. I'm gonna say that's Dinesh. I'm gonna say that's Dinesh. Yeah, I think so too. I think that's how a lot of places get you. And then like my favorite, like I said on Namecheap, they were giving me free features that would, auto renew along with my domain, and I was just like, whatever. Yeah. Yeah, I think Namecheap is $12 for .com with privacy. That's how much Google charges too. I'll check. Google has free privacy? Yeah, I think so, and that was part of the reason I went to them. I should fact check myself, but I believe so. Yeah, I hated paying it on Namecheap. I did it for like an extra year, and then yeah, I think Google Domains offers all that for free, and that's why I think it's a couple bucks more than most people. But I think they don't nickel and dime you, for all these add-ons. I think it just comes with them. Spencer, I might make the switch from GoDaddy then. Yeah, using my name silo for my XYZ. Nice. AnyBlast, how's it going? K Penguin, how's it going? Welcome. Thank you for following. Appreciate it. Welcome. Pork bun registration 415. Renewal 856. Transfer 856. M Bison, what's up, dude? How's it going, man? Good to see you. How you doing? You playing Mega Man? What are you playing, man? I know you're playing some awesome old school retro platformer. Dinesh, I am hosted with Cloudflare at $8.03 a year. Nice. Yeah, Cloudflare was trying to get me to transfer like $7.59 or something a year. That was a little bit ago. But yeah, I love Cloudflare. Sorry. Yeah, I use them for DNS, but man, they give me so many awesome things for free. Almost like, well, why don't I just move my domain there instead of using all the other features there? But I don't know. Sometimes I like to keep things separate though too. Ticano included DNS, email forwarding, SSL, who has privacy. Nice. And that's with pork bun. Nice. That's pretty cheap. Penguin Airlines. Oh yeah. The email forwarding is something I want to try. Yeah. That sounds awesome for sure. Free SSL is nice. I think Cloudflare does that too. But yeah, free SSL is nice. And the proxy, what's it called? Cloudflare does the proxying too, and masks your IP, or you proxy through them. Dinesh, that's right. All right, got it right. Sometimes the four for an A throws me off a little bit, but I got it, man. How you doing? Penguin Airlines, yeah, Namecheap is $13 to check. How much for Google domains? No one's calling that out. I think it's $12, but they include everything. Everything, I think. My brother had a domain and didn't renew it, and now it's 5.4K. Castle, that's crazy. That's someone definitely squatting on it. You know what I mean? That's definitely someone squatting on it, I think. I mean, who owns it now? Is it like contact this website to buy this site? I always wonder too, I always wondered how like right now you're probably going and searching domains and seeing if domains are available. I wonder if they have metrics behind that and they're like, hey, whatever, 2,000 people just searched for penguinairlines.com. We better buy this right now. And then, sell it off to one of our, other subsidiary companies. And then you can buy it from them for $10,000 instead of like just getting it for 12. I always wondered about that. Because it just seems, they got to have metrics on it. That would probably be bad practice. It would probably be malpractice. It probably, it sounds like fraud, but it's just crazy. Because, they have all that data, but who knows if those companies act on it. Penguin Airlines, second year. Oh, $13, second year? Oh, yeah. And Bison, play the Mega Man, trying to get back into the game, but work is so busy right now. Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you, man. I hear you. We're all busy, man, but I hope you're doing good, man. Castle GoDaddy owns it, really? That is shiesty, you know? It's like, that is so bad. So he let it expire, now GoDaddy owns it and they want $5.4 thousand. That's crazy. Maybe that goes into what I was saying earlier. If enough people are searching for it or it's a popular enough word, they're putting an artificial price on it. Because scarcity in general, you know, there's only one domain like it, but if it's a popular word, a popular term too, that's crazy that GoDaddy owns it. So you can't even go and re-register it. They registered it for themselves, but you can buy it for them for that much. Oh, jeez. 5 gigahertz, you can actually see what domains people are searching for. And if they don't buy it right away, you can snatch it. Yeah, that's what I was just talking about. That's so crazy. Yeah, but can you personally see what domains people are searching for? Or do you mean the companies? Techno, so current plan, buy a domain for pork bun, use Cloudflare for proxy it, and set up SSO keycloak, probably on my own network to allow certain people to access the site. Yeah, man, that's what I'm talking about. I do almost similar thing, except for Google owns my domain. Then the other stuff comes from Cloudflare. But I don't have keycloak though. Looks awesome. For now, I got SSO, or I have OAuth from GitHub and Google. Yeah, kids are going crazy outside. And Bison, this pandemic is making everybody buy online now. Yeah, man, I bet it. Yeah, it's probably affecting you, huh? Hope things are good though, man. Penguin Airlines, Google domains, $12 a year. Hard to tell what's included though. I know my friend was upset with them though because it was email that wasn't included. And he has G Suite. Yeah, that stinks. Yeah. I thought if you had G Suite, you can just use it with any domain. I could be wrong. I don't have G Suite though. But I thought you could. And I thought the privacy came with it. I thought I don't think they have line items for it. I think they have just like, hey, here's what's included normally with every domain that we buy. Hey, Swamwar. Thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Welcome. 5 gigahertz, both? There's gotta be a place where I can see domains being searched for. Yeah, I think so too. The only problem is like, you know, there are so many registrars and they all have their own search engine, you know, to see what's available. So I don't know how you could aggregate all that, but I don't know, maybe. There's gotta be someone out there who's at least showing their metrics. Maybe not. Takano, the main reason I'm looking at Keycloak to protect my Guacamole server and allow certain people to access it with their own account on Windows. Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, if you're gonna, especially Guacamole, because like that, you're given, if someone gets in there, they have the keys to the kingdom. At least to the login screen, right? Because, yeah. I don't know. Does it sign you in too? Or does it just give you, you know, terminal or remote, you know, access to the screen? I need to do some more of it. And I've been looking at it. It looks awesome. But it doesn't sign you in though. So even if someone was able, I think, this is my own assumption, that if someone were to authenticate and then get to the sign in screen, say on Windows, they would still need to know your Windows password or, you know, your terminal, your shell, your Linux account password too. Possibly, unless you can set that up in Guacamole to really single sign them in all the way to the desktop. Penguin Airlines, you can't remember? I just know it was something simple, wasn't included. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I'm totally gonna have to check out Pork Bun now because, yeah, if I get more with others, why not? I should set up a mail server at some point. I used to a long time ago. It just became, it was too beastly and too crazy to manage. And then I don't think I had top level domains way back then when I tried to set it up. So, and plus I had no idea what I was doing in DNS to set up my mail record and stuff like that. So, but I should try it again. There's this one, there's a mail server in a Docker container. I feel like that's like probably pushing the limits of what a Docker container can do. But there is one, and it's really documented, and I've looked at it a few times, and I thought about setting it up, but I've never had the guts to. I probably should. Eloane, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. Where are we at? Techno limit their download and upload to like 20 megabit per second. Okay. They're definitely better than GoDaddy though. Yeah, I think so too. I got my PC and now I type too much. Yeah. Oh, you got your PC. Yeah. Now you have a keyboard. Now you can just let her rip. Friends, don't let friends manage email servers. Thank you for that. I needed that reminder. I mean, the only reason why I would ever use it though, anyway, would just be to, just to say I have one running. And, if I ever wanted to like mask my other email address, even though there's a million different ways to do that, I don't know, just to say I have one running, especially if it's super easy in a Docker container. But spinning up the mail server isn't the hard part. It's everything else you need to get right for it to work. But yeah, I don't look forward to that. Setting up spam and all of that. Chicano, so with Guacamole, I'm thinking of doing a single login. So log in to the SSO and auto log you into Windows Desktop with your own account. And that machine is on a separate VLAN, complete with no access to VLAN at all, only internet access. Yeah. Sounds like a plan, man. Sounds like a plan. Penguin Airlines, really? Seems fine, as long as it can horizontally scale email server and Docker. Yeah, I agree. I don't know, like, back in the day I tried like Microsoft Exchange, which was like the beast of all beasts, Squirrel Mail and all these other mail servers. And it was always just like, maybe it was just a sign of the times where I was just, younger, doing this stuff in Linux or Windows, and it was just so complicated. But Docker seems like it would be super easy because it's way more documented than most things as far as ports that are exposed and what environment variables they support. So, but yeah. I don't know how it would scale. I mean, it should be able to, hopefully. But yeah. Eluan, I think you missed her. Yeah, no problem. I ran one for a while, email and Docker on DigitalOcean, and it was fine. Nice. This is all good news. Maybe I'll give it a shot again. I might have an Exchange 2003 key somewhere you can use. Yeah, tell me about it. I think I probably too, because I had TechNet for a while. I had MSDN for a while. And then I even did one of Microsoft's like small business thing where I got like a ton of stuff for free for a long time, but it's all old school now. Vordium, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. Well, you're already here, but thank you for the follow. Yeah, and I know. But like setting up the Exchange server, that was I think one of my first missions of my Homelab ever was setting up Active Directory domain. Well, first it was just like having another computer for a file server. I just thought that was so awesome. But then after that, I was like kind of started collecting old PCs that were destined for the dumpster. And so I set up a domain at home. I mean, my brothers hated me because I joined all our couple of PCs we had at home to the domain. I was like, you got to log in now and use your password. I mean, this is in my house when I was younger. And, setting that up. And then I was like, yeah, now that we have a domain, we're going to use Microsoft DNS and we're going to set up an Exchange server. This is going to be great. Oh man, that was so way more complicated than it needed to be. And they had tons of wizards and tools to go do most of the stuff for you, but I had no idea what it was doing. But yeah, Exchange is the biggest beast ever. Sure, it's better now, maybe. But yeah. Takano looked at my IP and it's blacklisted from a huge spam list, so I can't even host an email server on my network. Yeah. Oh, that's true. That is true. So yeah, good call. You might not be able to send mail to other SMTP hosts or whatever, other upstream hosts. If your IP is blacklisted, your mail server can't send them through some relay then. 5 gigahertz. Curious about your reasons preferring RJ45 for 10 gig instead of DAC fiber, especially if the equipment is in the same room or same rack. Good question, and I think your last point hit on it. they're not going to be in the same room or same rack. So, a few people have asked me, as you're asking me now, and a few people have asked me in Discord too, like, hey, you can get 10 gigahertz. I'm looking at 5 gigahertz thinking 10 gigahertz. You can get 10 gigabit now if you use X, Y, and Z. And like all of that sounds awesome, but hey, Modern Wiz, thanks for follow, appreciate it. Like all of that sounds awesome. I think 10 gigabit is awesome. But for me, I have one use for 10 gigabit right now. As much as I want it and I want to do it, I only have one use. And it's so that I could possibly edit my videos over the network on my FreeNAS server, TrueNAS server. And that's the only use case that I have right now, pretty much. And I would like to be able to do that. They're not in the same room. And so I'm kind of just, so that's the one use case. And I could wait. I have a workaround now, as most people do. It's just render local proxies and wait forever and wait for those to finish. But I don't want to, like, I feel like, and so if I only have that one use case, I know that there are a lot of, I guess, I'll call them gap solutions where I could use DAC or fiber, and then I could put, buy the converters, run DAC or fiber through my house to get down to my switch and get 10 gigabit. Or I can just wait until, RG45 or RG48, I forget what it is, Ethernet comes down in price. And so I have seen some switches that the Arista ones, for example, the ones that are, I think, getting torn out of data centers now, they'll appear every now and then on eBay for, I don't know, $350, $400. And that's for like 24 or 48 port, I forget what it is, 24, I think, of all 10 gig. And so for me, I just want, I don't want to do it until I'm going to do it for real. And I don't want to do onesie twosie things because, I don't have that many machines that would benefit from 10 gig. Like gigabits in my house is plenty, except for the one thing I want to do. Anyways, long story short, I do want something that's backwards compatible too. And I know that, not all Cat 6 can transfer or connect at 10 gigabit, depending on the length of the run. Even some Cat 5e can connect at 10 gigabit, depending on the length of the run. So I just want to do something that doesn't require me to buy a whole bunch of parts and adapters and cards that are a gap solution for me, for my use. And I know, and it's a great solution for now for people who need it now, but I'm just kind of like, I can wait, I can wait. And so that's a really long answer to why I think I'm going to wait for a little bit longer to get 10 gigabit and hopefully pick up one of these Arista Networks 10 gigabit switches that are getting torn out of data centers. So long story short, that's kind of why. So nothing against 10 gigabit. I want it. I just wish it was over Ethernet now. But and I'm totally like sugarcoating it. Like I'll still need to buy 10 gigabit cards for my PCs, for my server. So I'll have to buy things. But those things, are backwards compatible with gigabit and with 100 meg and 10 meg. Not that I'm going to go back that far, but I can plug any Ethernet cable into it and it'll work. And I don't want to have to always worry about, the DAC or fiber and doing that and buying all of that. And then one day not using all of that. But yeah, anyways, hope that answers your question. Nothing against it. I think it's awesome. And if I had a couple of servers in here and needed to transfer some data between the two really fast or synchronize my Z pools or, sync two servers, I would totally do it. And I would do point to point. Easy TSA, my Plex server media is connecting via relay connection and is slow and hosting on Rancher. How's yours? Also, problem with logs taking up too much space. How about yours? Okay, so yeah, good questions. My Plex is totally fine. I've been running Plex and Rancher 1 and now 2 for a long time. I've run Plex and Rancher 2. I've been running it 5 months, 6 months, and haven't noticed anything different or odd. So mine's okay. The problem about the logs, I know what you're talking about. If you're talking about the disk pressure issue, that's Kubernetes telling you you're running out of disk space, and you probably are because of the way that Ubuntu does partitioning out of the box and sets up its LVMs. So there's a fix for that. It's in our Discord, or just search for how to like extend your partition on Ubuntu. And that's only if you're seeing the disk pressure stuff and you're running on Ubuntu. I'm assuming you are. Just because they set up disks weird. I don't know why they do it, but they do it that way. And so if you're putting on, 4, 5, 6, 7 Docker containers, you're probably running out of space. And it's probably not just for logging, it's probably everything else, because sometimes, depending on your Docker images, they're kind of big. And depending on the workloads you're running and what you're downloading to your Ubuntu server, that might be big too. So, so I hope that helps. Aptly put, Docker hurts my brain. Used to hurt my brain too. Not anymore. Not anymore. I love it. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. It's hard to grok at first. But just think if like you just took this process, whatever process that you're running, say it's whatever, say it's a Discord client, and you put that in a little container, and you took all the dependencies that Discord client needs. So it might need some networking dependencies, or need some whatever image rendering dependencies. I'm making this up. Put them all in that box, and then you take that box and you can put it anywhere you want. And because that little box has all of its dependencies with it, and because it's version controlled and tagged, and there's a SHA like hash value of what those volumes are, you can reproduce that thing anywhere you want. Anywhere you put it, anywhere you run Docker, it's going to run exactly the same. You put it on your Windows machine, you put it on your Linux machine, you put it on your Mac, you put it on a server here in the cloud, anywhere you want that's running Docker. It's going to run exactly the same because it has all its dependencies with it, and it's tagged in version control. So just think of it like that. Just a little box, put all your dependencies in. Usually have one dependent, or one process usually, and then you just ship it anywhere you want, and that's it. And then there's all the complication about config, environment variables, but so that's how I think of it. I'm oversimplifying it for sure. Man, Shuckle Samurai, thank you for the sub. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Sorry, I'm rambling about Docker. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you for subscribing and for being here. Really appreciate it. Sorry, I'm like going on too much probably about some of this stuff. So I'm sorry. I'm so happy not to be administering Windows systems at my current gig, Vordium. Yeah, man. Yeah, I bet. What did you do? Did you do like what part of administering Windows systems? Servers, desktops, group policy, software management? Yeah, what piece? 5 gigahertz LL. I did the same thing, joining all the computers in my house to a domain when I was a kid. That was NT4 Win 2K days though. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't remember what I was using. I think mine was like XP or something like that. And yeah, I totally did it. It sucked. It sucked that all my machines at home were joined to a domain. I mean, it was cool at first, but domain controller probably has to be up. You know what I mean? Yeah, I can use cache credentials, I think, for a certain period of time. But yeah, I was just like, yeah, it'll be fine. Let's do this. Yeah, that's why I use a mail forwarding service. Yeah, good call. Penguin Airlines, hold on. DME video I saw, I covered it pretty well. Nice. Techno, yeah, it's blacklisted since it's a home IP. It's meant to prevent spam from email worms and the like. Yeah, good call. I could see how that could be. Castle, I got fired from my job, but it was temporary anyways. Now I can look for tech jobs. Sucks, but kind of happy. I don't know. Hey, man, I'm sorry. Sorry you got fired from your job, man. Hope everything's okay. Maybe it'll work out for the best. Maybe you'll find a tech job. I hope you do. Takano, you could also use the SFP Plus modules that go to RJ45 to use pre-existing wiring. That's a good call too. Yeah, I could. Yeah. P Diddy, you can get SFP Plus to RJ45 adapters. Yeah, yeah, for sure. But that's the thing. Yeah, it's true. I totally could. And maybe I can try it someday. But then again, it's like, I don't want to buy a switch that only has 2 or 4 10 gigabit ports. and then 18 or 12 gigabit ports just to replace my 24 port or 18 port gigabit switch too. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like I when I do it, I want to go all in, and I want to do it without adapters. How about that? And maybe I'll be waiting a while. I don't know, but all in, 10 gig every port, no adapters. That's my goal. That's my goal. Unless I absolutely have to. Gotta work on my resume though. Yeah, for sure. Work on your resume, work on your LinkedIn, get those up to date. Connect with every single person you see on LinkedIn all the time. Just connect. Well, first update your LinkedIn and get it good. Update your resume. Yeah, keep that there for when you get the interview. But really work on your LinkedIn profile, get your history right, have people endorse you for things that you do or like my friends, we troll each other on LinkedIn, and we used to endorse each other for SharePoint. Nothing against SharePoint if you manage SharePoint, but I don't know, it's some inside joke. We would try to find each other on LinkedIn and endorse them for SharePoint, knowing very well we all disliked SharePoint nor had any idea of how to manage it. But anyways, yeah, get your LinkedIn profile up to date, make it look spiffy, make that look good. And then once you make that look good and you have all your experience down and all your skills listed, then connect with every single person you see, And I think, and then mark your, I think you can mark yourself as for hire. Those things help. I mean, you probably get a lot of spam from recruiters, but at least they're coming to you instead of you looking for things. And obviously they're getting paid to do that, but yeah. So that's my only advice. Yeah, those get pricey, $55 each. SFP Plus can be more like 45. Yeah, but you can do the RJ45 workstation with the DAC fiber to server. Yeah. Maybe we'll see. But the only other problem is then it's like, okay, I got to get, either my current Ethernet that's in here, cross my fingers, will do 10 gig over the run, which I think is probably I'd say about 30 feet, because it goes in the attic, then in the basement, then to my patch panel, then to my servers, or run fiber. And so it's like, oh man, that's a huge if. But if it did work, then yes, I could see myself enjoying 10 gigabit for sure. Because then I don't have to do my proxies. Every time I shoot a video, as soon as I'm done, I just like dump it all on my FreeNAS. It's like I dump it all there, then I pull it all back, then create proxies, and then on the final render again, it's gonna pull it all back and then create a final render. So it's I work around it now. I just know as soon as I'm done shooting, I'm gonna render my proxies right away, because I'm already like, I don't want to mess with it for whatever. I'm not gonna be on my computer for the next 20-30 minutes anyway, so I'll render them now. But yeah, I dream about 10 gigabit. It's coming, but I want to find a good solution, like not that those aren't, but one that I'm going to stick with a little bit longer. Yeah, that's a better route for sure. Penguin Airlines. You guys are talking about SFP Plus. Techno would only run 100 meg on our networks, higher speeds, and the electrons can't keep up. Oh yeah, make sure you don't turn those switches upside down. I've heard that the older ones, the electrons can fall out. Yeah, oh yeah. P. Diddy Plex uses a lot of storage for movie posters and extras. Yeah, good call. And it has a temp location. It does too. Whenever it, I think, does transcoding or the buffer, it has a temp folder too. Takano, I've had it happen and it never ends up good. Gotta keep the switches right side up. Yeah, you guys are, yeah. P. Diddy, I think I'm using 60 to 70 gigabytes on my Rancher install, and it's mostly Plex. Yeah, that's pretty big. That's a lot. So all your movies and stuff are in there as well, I assume. Yeah. You guys are going on about this Electron stuff, hoping I'll pick up on it. I did make a mess in my server rack. I had to pick up every Electron by hand. You guys are going crazy on that. Bordium, I was doing everything. Small biz, 300 users, 5 locations, 4 of us, IT department. Email, file storage, desktop support, specialized chemistry data, collection servers. Wow. Sounds like a huge, yeah, it sounds like a lot to take on for 4 people, I think. You know, it sounds like a ton. So glad I wasn't on call Sunday. Just 4 people. Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. Only 4 people. Same Tim. I need like 3 10 gig switches for a reasonable price to get me over the threshold. Yeah, 24, 48, 24p ports, and an 8-port PoE, and an 8-port PoE, preferably PoE powered. Oh God, SharePoint. Yeah, yeah. Penguin Aaron. I'm kind of that same way too. So I have 2 PoE switches. One's out in my garage actually, because I power cameras from there. And then one's in my basement, and that powers cameras for in the house. But fortunately, those are separate from my main switch. So my main switch is that old Cisco one, 18-port. It's all gigabit. But I don't know, like if I get a 10 gigabit, I don't even know if I want PoE built in. I mean, unless I get an awesome deal and it has whatever, 10 ports or 8 ports of PoE built in. But I don't think I'll seek that out as a feature. I don't know, maybe not. But I might keep that separate and just because then I can just get a cheap, relatively cheap, you know, whatever, another switch that's dedicated PoE, that can power more ports for more cameras instead of always relying on a 10 gigabit one. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe I'm these are pipe dreams, but Bordium SharePoint, yeah, totally. That was our troll on LinkedIn. It still is. Every now and then, one of my friends will endorse me for SharePoint. I know nothing about SharePoint, but it's always funny when it comes up. P Diddy, you can change the temp transcode folder, and 60 to 70 gigabit is just for the Plex files. And your movies and stuff are on your NAS. Wow, that's a lot of temp stuff. That's a lot of temp and. Yeah, I guess I haven't looked at my library. That's the folder, the Plex library folder with the config in there lately. You have to check it out. Hopefully mine's not using that much. Then again, I mean, I have a ton of recorded TV. I don't have any music because I kind of stopped doing the whole thing with music. I have Spotify. I mean, I have tons of local music, but I never listen to it anymore. And then, you know, just a handful of movies and TV on Plex. Ticano at Techno Tim, opinion on the i3 CenturyLink outage that happened Sunday. I don't know. I don't use CenturyLink. Yeah, I don't know. CenturyLink's it's been canvassing my whole entire neighborhood talking about gigabit Ethernet, but I don't know anything about the outage. The only outage, you know, that I heard of was the Unify one, Ubiquity one, with their single sign-on, and that whole snafu where people couldn't log into their own systems that are in their own house because it relied on authentication servers from Ubiquity or Unify. Ubiquity. Yeah, I don't know anything about it. I'm not informed, so I have no opinion. What do you think about it? Penguin Airlines, I wish I had a garage. Yeah, mine, it's not anything fancy and it's not even attached. But I'm figuring out a solution right now how to get a decent connection to my garage. Totally wireless. I'm still noodling on it, but I think I have something. I might put something together on it too, just because I think, I don't know. I think people might be interested at some point on how to set up bridge mode networking, because man, sometimes you just can't run a wire everywhere in your house. But yeah. You'll never find a single unit to do everything. Yeah, dust binder. Yeah, good call. Yeah, and so I've always kept mine pretty separate anyways. I purposely didn't buy a switch that had any PoE because I would just buy an additional one that was just PoE, so I could pay. I wouldn't be paying for features I might not be fully using on one. And so when I go 10 gigabit, it'll be that same thing. Like I could care less if PoE was on there. If it's on there and it's, you know, what I want to pay, it's a bonus. But yeah, for sure. Totally agree. Many things went down. Unify, Plex, Duo, Nice, and Comcast. Okay, so maybe what I heard then about Ubiquity was the i3 CenturyLink, and it was their fault. Oh, backbone provider. There we go. There's the missing link. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah, I mean, outages like this. I mean, this is not unique nor new. And yes, it is the backbone. I get it. But in principle, it's the same as a lot of other outages. Obviously, this affected a lot more. And obviously, it was an internet backbone piece that went down. But we have the same things with DNS. We have the same things with Cloudflare. Like, there are so many little pieces. It's like the internet is a house of cards right now, and it's supposed to be this, distributed web and distributed kind of platform, but you have key players, whether it be ISPs or DNS or, whatever, gateways or main hubs or routers, that when they go down or when they get denied service or when something happens to them that shouldn't have happened or someone writes a bad regex on their firewall, a lot of customers are not able to access the internet. Yeah, so it's crazy. But yeah, it's crazy to think about, but it doesn't surprise me, nor am I upset. I mean, would I be upset if I was on there? Yeah, kind of, sort of. Or if it had affected me more, probably. If I was a huge business, that was affected, probably. But I mean, a lot of these things happen all the time, and so this one, just seems like it affected a lot more people. I don't know, but I've had things with DNS, and even just with Plex alone, they had problems with their own system a couple of weeks ago with sign-in and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm not upset, nor am I surprised. I'll put it that way, because if it's not the internet, it's DNS or it's some router or it's some data center somewhere. You know what I mean? And high availability in general costs a lot of money. Like every, whatever they say, every 0.9 you add to your uptime, you're, increasing the cost of what it costs, exponentially. And I totally agree. So people try to get by with what they can get by with and think that they're covered. But I mean, it happens all the time. Google Cloud. I mean, we run our stuff in Google Cloud. They had a small problem with their networking. And it seems small, but no, it affects their whole entire, their whole Midwest data center. It's like, well, okay. Hopefully you have high availability and something in one of the other data centers, because that one's, the networking internally is not working. So even though they appear to be up. So I'm again, never surprised when these things happen, because if it's not one tech, it's another. And there are so many pieces, so many cards in this house that we call the internet that can be pulled out at any time. So it's not as stable or as distributed as we think. Anyways, I'm rambling. Castle, here we go. Saturday, a ton of service. Yeah, we talked about that. Castle, how important is LinkedIn? Asking anyone in chat. I've had it before, but stopped using it. I think it's good for tech jobs, for sure. It's kind of annoying if you're in tech too, because you get emails from recruiters like all day long who have not read your profile, know nothing about what you do, but think that you're a great fit for a job. But at the same time, maybe you want that. Maybe instead of you going out looking, you want someone to find you. And I've had it quite a few times where I've even talked to the recruiter and talked to people many times about potential jobs that I otherwise would not have known about if it wasn't for LinkedIn. So, it's good and it's bad, but if you're looking for a job, I mean, why would you not be on there or not put your stuff on there? Because it's like the recruiting tool that recruiters pay for. Companies pay to use that to search for people with skills that they need. So yeah, I would ask, why would you not? Especially if you're looking for a job, But yeah. Takano, if you use Cloudflare, they quickly rolled out a fix for an internal network. Nice. Way to go, Cloudflare. Penguin Airlines, they had a tricky configuration issue where two huge merged circuits had overlapping settings. ARPANET forever, Vortium, yeah. They had a BGP issue, so routing, and they also were honoring to pull the route on connections that use CenturyLink modems. So even if you pulled the route, it wouldn't work. This is why when you run critical services that you use data center with geographically redundant links and use multiple service providers. A lot of services did that, but a couple didn't, and those are the ones that died. Yeah, and it was probably to save money, you know, like I said, like every, you know, if you want continuity, you got to pay for it. It's not for free, especially, I mean, doubling a lot of the things you're doing, or tripling or quadrupling, not only the things you're doing within a data center, but multiple data centers, and multiple links come from data centers. I think they're making enough money though to do it. Exactly. I think it's excusable for someone like Plex, but our call center software went down, and that's not okay. Yeah, I totally agree. I got my current job through a recruiter that found me on LinkedIn. Hey, now, like Tim said, I get too many people hitting me up every day, but I'm using that to help my friends who have lost their jobs due to downsizing. Yeah, and I don't mean to complain about recruiters. It's nothing. I have nothing against them. Like I said, like I've always had like positive interactions with them. The interactions that I complain about are interactions that were one way, all from them, and saying like, you know, asking me if telling me I'd be a perfect fit for, I don't know, some kind of .NET job. You know, meanwhile, I had .NET on my resume from like 12 years ago. I'm like, have you read anything on LinkedIn lately? You know, you know what I mean. They're just searching a database and they're going, here are the people in the area. You know, here are the skills that they've listed on their profile. You know, shotgun email and totally fishing. Yeah, you got to be careful what's on your resume. Yeah, I mean, but LinkedIn, you know, I totally agree. I should clean that up. I should remove like skills I haven't used in forever, and remove remove SharePoint from my skill set so that no one can endorse me anymore on it. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, for sure. Endorse all your friends for SharePoint. They'll love it. It's a good, I don't know. It's our inside joke. Maybe it'll catch on. We just laugh every time we see it. But yeah. Man, but yeah, hopefully I didn't go off the deep end on some of this stuff today, but man, I do have to call it a night. Man, thank you guys so much for well, we got one more. Heavy focus on infrastructure languages, you know, but they'll latch on to Exchange skill on your resume and it will be your doom. I totally agree. Yeah, I should remove like some of my past history out of there so those keywords don't appear anymore. But then I feel like they've already scraped all that data and then put it in their CMS too. So no matter what you do in LinkedIn, like your stuff is in their own internal services now and their own internal CMS. And like no matter what you do, even if you removed it from LinkedIn, your data's somewhere else too. And so like you're in their database and they'll keep calling you. You'll hear from them years later. Oh, I haven't talked to you in a while. And you know, you can tell they're reading out their CMS. Last time we talked, you said that. And you worked at, you know, they're totally, but yeah, I don't mean to, I'm not bashing on recruiters. I just think it's funny. They have a super hard job. They have to talk about a lot of skills they may not be totally familiar with and try to recruit people, and that's how they get paid. So I appreciate them. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, thanks for showing up. Thanks for the follows. Thanks for the subs. Thanks for the bits. Most of all, thank you for being here and for chatting. I will be back on Saturday. So Saturday, anyone that asked about EU-friendly stream, Saturday usually is, and it's 3 CST. And most of the people in the EU probably aren't on right now because it's probably super late over there. But I will be here Saturday. And then also on Saturday, I have a new video coming out Saturday morning. So yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy it. But yeah, have a good night. Thanks so much for chatting. Sorry if I talked your guys' ears off. Yeah, thanks for being here so much. Like I say, time is the most valuable thing we have. So thank you for spending it with me. Appreciate it. And I will see you guys Saturday. All right. See you Saturday. Have a good night.